what does being an American baller mean to Daniel Green?
Wow. Okay. Good question. An American baller. No right or wrong answer.
No.
No right or wrong answer.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, being an African American male, being an American, and again, not to get too political, has been a little different in the landscape of who, how things are viewed in the world. From my perspective, obviously you touched on social justice, the recent, regime that we had in, from a political standpoint, really made me view the American flag a little different. I spoke about that with some friends. Like, normally you see the American flag and you're proud, you stand for the national anthem for games and, you're proud to be an American. And it's kind of like when you see American flags on, I guess lawns around the neighborhood. Now it's like, you're looking at it like it's kind of the Confederate flag, which it shouldn't be, and
Right.
and hopefully we're beyond that. And, a lot of the things that have been brought to light in the world, especially, with the social justice movement, everyone pretty much having, a device where they could record, having their own camera, cell phones, and then really bringing to light a lot of the issues that are around the world. I hope the pride of being, an African American, being an American does come back in society.
Yes.
So that's the first piece that I wanted to kind of touch on, because you can't kind of answer that question, American baller, without touching on what an American is and then what a baller is.
Exactly.
And then the baller standpoint, I would say, that could be many things. A baller could be, someone who's a baller, in the club, shot call, like, there's ways that you can interpret that, or it could be just, a hooper, somebody who's just passionate about, playing the game of basketball, so I would say, the full scope of what an American baller means to me is, being an American to me, I can't, not say I'm an American without saying African American. So, being someone who has been through, whose ancestry has been through struggle to get me to even be on a conversation like this with you guys.
Yes.
That is, I'm proud in that respect and proud in that right to be an African American, and then at the same time being able to be a baller who's used the game of basketball to, open up a lot of different doors that, I probably normally would not have had a chance to do without the game of basketball, from the standpoint of getting, it started probably, I would say, back in 7th, 8th grade, getting, into a prestigious, high school, and being able to play basketball. Yes, I did have good grades, but, our family didn't have the finances to afford a school like that, and to attain a scholarship, through the game of basketball.
Yeah.
Being able to leverage that to go to one of the most prestigious colleges and universities through the game of basketball. And they're being able to work for, all of these remarkable brands that I mentioned, CAA to Miami Heat to, Brooklyn Nets, and, really being able to position myself to own and have my own agency where I'm able to pay it forward to future American ballers. Like, it all comes full circle, and it's remarkable. So being an American baller is kind of all of that I just summed up.